My first full year in real estate, I made $11,000. $11,000 the whole year. Nobody tells you that you will work 60-hour weeks and owe money by the time it's done. Going into real estate is truly a demotion in every way except one, the ceiling. That's it. That's the entire trade you're making. You give up the floor for a chance at the ceiling that most people never get to. Hi, I'm Kiki, and this is Keys and Secrets, the real stories behind the for sale sign. Not the polished version, not the one you see on the gram, the real one, real estate, the real estate we don't talk about. My team and I will bring you stories from the real world, from our own, sometimes others, and we're going to share them with you and give you the real tea. Today, it's about us. It's our story and how we got started, why we got into this business, what we thought it would be, and what we learned, what it really was. So let's take it back. Before I got my license, before all of it, I was a stager, so I was a little bit in the business. But then COVID hit, and our lives turned upside down. And I had to make a real living. I had to put food on the table and help out in the house. So I got my real estate license. When I told my family and friends that I was doing this, I got a mixed reaction. I got people saying like, oh, wow, you're going to sell houses? That's so easy. You're going to love it. And then I had the opposite reaction. I had sell houses. Why? You have your master's degree. Don't do that. Honestly, everyone's opinion, I shoved to the side and just focused and moved forward. I had to do what I felt was right. We were in lockdown and I started studying. Once I got my license, I was like, okay, let's find a house to sell. Let's start making some money. But then it hit me, the money. It wasn't there. And I hadn't saved. And that's my advice coming to you at the end of this episode, how to start and the reserves you're going to need. So I realized before I could even start and sell my first house, I had to buy lock boxes. I had to buy signs. I had to find a photographer. I had to buy a car to drive all these people around showing houses. I was spending and spending and spending for months and not one sale in sight. Working with clients, buyers for 6, 7, 8 months. And sometimes they decide, you know what? We're not ready. And you did all that and still haven't gotten paid. I realized I'm a volunteer. I'm literally a full-time volunteer until the closing table. If you get there, because things fall apart, people lose their jobs, they can no longer buy a home, or they decide that they're being transferred for work and all that time spent is now gone. But there is good news. At some point, you do get your first closing and the check comes in. And I think this is where a lot of people are confused about that check. They see that commission number and they're like, wow, did you see what they're making? What I think they don't realize is who the check is made out to. The check is made out to the brokerage. It doesn't have my name on it. And when you're a rookie, that check, you're starting at the rookie split level. Almost half of your check goes back to the brokerage. And then the other half goes to pay all those credit card fees that you racked up trying to build your business. So I think there's a big misconception of how one gets started and what one truly does make to survive in this business. There was a point, I do remember, sitting in my car after seeing 24 homes with buyers, and they got the news that they were being relocated, and I went in my car and I cried. I was like, am I going to do this? Am I going to survive? Can I keep this up? I even did the math on my phone, the number of hours I spent with them, the driving, the gas, the mileage, gifts. They have kids. I would bring gifts for them. And I was in the negative, literally. So it was around, and it was also around this time, a fellow mom said, this looks so exciting. I'm thinking of getting into real estate. What's your advice? And I told her, I was like, you got to save and make reserves, at least 6 months, because you're not going to make a penny for the first 6 months. So my biggest advice is get reserves and set it aside so that you can go at least 6 months without any income, because it won't happen fast. But I promise you, when it does happen and it continues to happen and you see the lives that you're changing and the memories they're starting in new households. And then they send you texts of, we have another baby coming and the room is being fixed and we're so thankful. And that's years later. It truly impacts you. And you realize that it was all worth it. Even the months you're broke, it made it all worth everything. I'm at the other side. I've been in this for a few more years, but I have a rookie now on my team. So I thought we'd take it to him and see what he has to say starting off where I was 5 years ago. And our rookie, and I love the term rookie. I was a rookie my first year and I embraced the term. I made sure everyone knew I was a rookie because I think you have to brand yourself. And being a rookie, there's awards out there. So I was nominated Rookie of the Year, and I really fed into that. So this year, our rookie on the Kiki Cannon team is Billy Cannon. And if you do the math, he is my son, but he is on our amazing growing team. And I had some questions for him. Welcome, Billy.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Good, good. So I'm going to ask you some questions and then, be honest. I know you have a lot of friends that are also now like, maybe we should get our license. So just tell me what you're thinking and how this first year has been for you when you started. Let's go down to the nitty gritty. You had a front row seat to me starting in the business. What did you think when you would get your license, how it would be and how would it compare to what you saw?
I'll be honest, I didn't know what you did, honestly, as a real estate agent. Like, I know I'd see you working. Dad would always say, yeah, you're at work and everything. And I'd see you, like, moving on Lab 360, and I saw you either at the house or at the office. I wasn't sure what you were doing. But it's not like that at all. I remember I got my license back in October. November, I, officially joined the brokerage. And then in December, I started working with clients. I thought I'd be getting paid right away. I think since December, I've got to paid only $500 in total.
That's right.
But it's different though, because I have another job at the beach, and those paychecks have less value, I feel, than those $550 I've made in real estate. And those first 2 days of being home on break, work with clients, going to the houses. I remember we went through 10 houses, I think, in 2 days.
Yeah.
And that was the first experience of, wow, it's a lot of work before we're 2 months out from getting a little paycheck. For me, it was like a $200 paycheck.
Right.
And that was just crazy. It's the hours I go in where you're just working, praying, and working as hard as you can, doing anything and everything you can just to get that closing table.
Right. And waiting for that closing table could take 60 days.
Yeah.
And then you were gifted with an amazing $200 check for all your time showing houses.
Yeah.
Okay. So I love that. Let's also see when we see the Instagram and what realtors do. And let's be honest, we know that you have a mentor of Ryan Serhan. We all do. When you saw that, were you like, okay, this is what it might be like for me my first year?
Yeah, I thought from Ryan Serhan, he's in tens of millions of dollars, houses, every single day. His show that I watch is insane. And I thought we'd be going to luxury houses every day. Those broker tours, I thought it'd be like that, going in, and there was everything. But it's not. And I think what I really like about real estate is you're working with real people, taking them through one of the most biggest decisions that they'll ever make in their entire life. And working with first-time home buyers is such a cool feeling. I remember just back in May, we were in Chipotle after inspection with your clients. And I remember it was a tough inspection, and it wasn't what we wanted, but we sat down, you talked to them, you taught them, you guided them through the entire thing. At the end of that lunch, it was really cool to hear the clients say, I'm finally understanding it. Yeah. And I thought that moment right there is what I really love about real estate, is that you can have this impact on people, help people through this entire process. I think that's the coolest part about the entire thing.
I like that, Bill. I didn't know you were going to say that, and I really appreciate that, because I remember that lunch, and we had a few hour inspection, and there was issues that came up, which always come up, and they tend to always be sewer issues, but that's what happened, and I could see that the clients were stressed. So it was like, let's just go for lunch. And there was the Chipotle close by, and we all went there and sat there with the baby and grandma. And I could see first-time home buyers, they were a little lost, a little confused, and a little scared. So just like over lunch, I was like, look, this is what's going to happen. This is what we're going to do. You're not going to lose the house. We're going to, work on getting them to repair it, because this is why. Otherwise, they have to disclose, or otherwise, things will change for them, and they want to make it work. And this is how we're going to go about asking and negotiating more for things. And I remember, too, the client, his eyes kind of opened when I explained the process that we were in. And he's just like, oh, okay, I get it. And I appreciate that you saw that, because it is not just like turning keys. It's really teaching, especially first-time homeowners, how to own their house and how to take care of the house, and like the workings in the house. A lot of times they didn't even know, like, they had to check their sewer and what's happening there, or radon, and a lot of other things. So I love that. Okay, what's something that nobody warned you about?
The amount of hours that go into this. You are essentially on call 24/7. If you get a text from your client saying you want to put an offer on a house on a Friday night and you're at dinner with your family, which I've known has happened a lot of times,
Yep.
or on vacation, and you wait until you get back from vacation, or wait until Monday morning, you lose the house. You lose everything.
Yeah.
The clients are probably leaving because they didn't get the house that they loved and that they wanted. And I think that's like one of the also cool things about real estate, is that you're always working. I love being busy. That I'm always working, either at the beach or in real estate. And just being busy is what makes me happy personally. But that's like one of the things with real estate, is you're just on call no matter what, no matter where you are, no matter what time it is. You get a text from either client, agent, attorney, you have to respond.
Yeah.
And you have to keep the ball rolling always.
Always. You have to, and that's why there's a lot of memes and jokes on Instagram about realtors always on their phone. It's truly like, if you don't answer that call, you'll lose the client, you could lose the deal. And yeah, many times, I even know recently it was like a family member's birthday party or something at Maggiano's, and my laptop is in my purse with me all the time, and got the message that they wanted to put on a deal. So I went to another table and started working. A lot of people think that when they go into real estate, they can make their own hours. They're tired of corporate, the 9 to 5, and you don't realize you're giving up the 9 to 5 for 24/7.
Yeah.
Okay. What has been the most rewarding experience so far?
The hands-on experience. Even though I've only gotten paid $500 since December, I honestly wouldn't.
Bringing that up.
I wouldn't trade it for anything else. My friends and I talk about it. It's $500 is one Lollapalooza ticket.
Okay. So there's the math.
And it's like 6 months, 7 months of work. It's all just gone to a Lollapalooza ticket, which will last 4 days. But it's the experience that comes with it. Like just yesterday, I dropped off keys at a family that was moving in, and seeing them move in, seeing them with their kids and everything, I thought that was super cool to see. Telling them congrats on the house, handing them the keys.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really cool experience. The clients that we saw the 10 houses with, they were the first-time home buyers as well.
Yeah.
And that 10th house, they walked through it, and you could see them going through each room and imagine what they're going to put in that room. And I thought that was also super cool.
Yeah.
And it's just like real estate is like one of those industries where you have this huge impact on people that you can't really get in any other industry. And it's really cool that me at 20 years old got my lessons at 19, that I'm already like talking to people, helping people, and guiding people through this. The
largest asset of their life is their house. Yeah. Okay, so I know you have people in your network and friends like are kind of motivated and looking at you and thinking about getting their license. What advice would you give them?
To work harder than they've ever worked before. I mean, getting the license, I know as a college student, wasn't the easiest. You're balancing a full school schedule with, this past semester I was taking, I believe, 18 credits. And I was also trying to get my real estate license. So it's just another course I have to take. And it's a lot of work that goes into just getting your license. And then just after that, it's a lot times 10 probably. There's a lot more work of doing the small little details that social media doesn't see, that your clients don't see, because you want to make the process as smooth as possible for your clients.
Right.
And so it's a bunch of the little work that just no one else sees besides you putting in the work.
Right.
And I think that's like also something that no one really talks about.
And that's something that I've tried to teach you and the team, the smoothness of it. I have clients that I swear the deal was about to fall apart. And I had the other agent screaming on the phone in my ear, yelling at me about something, or the attorney, and kept me up at night. There was hundreds of emails going between attorneys and the other agents. And we made it to the closing. And the clients, I will never forget, looked at me like, Kiki, we are so thankful. This was the smoothest transaction we have ever had. And I realized that was the best compliment. They did not know the lack of sleep, the stress, the tears, the screaming that was involved behind the scenes. And they just was like, that was so smooth. Thank you. We would love to work with you again. I'm like, I don't know if I want to, but that's the compliment you want, that it was smooth for them. You took on the burden. You took on the stress. I love this. Okay. So any final thoughts for those rookies headed into real estate?
Be ready for the worst. I would say be ready not to be rewarded. I mean, I was at the real estate club back at school.
Yeah.
And these speakers would come in. This one guy, Kyle Matthews, that started his own brokerage, commercial real estate. And he talked about how you just have to make it through the first 5 years of your career. And those are going to be like toughest 5 years.
Yep.
And I just finished my first year. It wasn't the best, but I loved it. I loved every second of it. And I'm just super excited that this is just the beginning.
Okay. So you're not quitting?
No, I'm planning on doing this for the rest of my life, hopefully.
I love that. Okay. Well, I appreciate that, Billy. Well, that was episode 1. That's me. That's us. The real version. The one you don't see on the gram. If this episode hit home, if you got your own I didn't know what I signed up for story, or if you are in real estate or you just bought a house and it has a story that you didn't know you were signing up for and didn't know what you expected, DM me, share your story. It might be on the next episode. So next week, we're leaving my story behind and we're going into somebody else's. A family, a house, and the buyer nobody saw coming. Follow us, Keys and Secrets, wherever you listen to your podcast so you don't miss the next one. I'm Kiki. See you next time.